We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of strip, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
Yeah, if I see it, I cop it. Running through stores, if I see it, I rock it. Yeah, girl, if you see it, I got it. Run it up more, we need all the profit. 100 racks back up in summer 16. Spent that whole bag on a whole summer dream. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow off some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. Pushing that product, just got a new shipment. Pushing that roll 50 over the limit. Cushion that blow.
Another day, another Swole Dara. What's going on, fam? Welcome to episode 851. This is a very important one, so make sure you drop some comments, say hi, hit the share button, make sure you mash the like button. It's unacceptable to do anything less than spread the gains, spread the swole. We live everywhere.
Faking the fame, but we all know, cause the source told all you niggas just learn. Talking to say y'all pseudo, and it's true though.
Getting that live podcast game on.
Taking the stage, got a few shows like it's a class in the dirt. I am the king and it's my throne.
Did you like it? Did you like that live podcast?
Be at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got
Yeah.
some drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it.
Oh, yeah. Time to get your swole on, fam. Preach, preach, preach. Papa Swole's ready to lay some smack down on Jew faces. Everyone's tuning in. We're on Periscope, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're everywhere.
Despite all your witchcraft and your riffraff, this is my gift and you wish that you had it. Tonight gonna bump trap, gonna thump that drums in the back and you know that we have it. Girls like where the one at, need to run back, flee from these niggas, you know that they savage.
Where we at? Where we at? Where we at with the gains? Who got their pump on today already? Gonna rage. Gonna rage on some bullshit today. Some bullshit. Some bullshit. What else is new, right? It's all bullshit. What else is new? What else is fucking new? It's always bullshit. Just more and more stuff. People are spitting them trash. Let's rock it today. Swoleness is our sickness. I like that. Just the gains. There we go, fam. 3, 2, 1. Do it.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Test, test, test. Testing, testing, testing. That's right. Testing, testing, testing. Testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 851 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, slaycast, nipplecast, and just nutbagcast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, beaches. What up, swole beaches? What's going on? Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, Periscope, wherever you are watching Papa Swolio, wherever you're watching me pinch these nips. And you don't even have to watch me pinch the nips. You can just feel it. You can feel it in your ear holes. Right when you tune into the podcast, you can just hear me. You can hear that collagen just. You can just hear that swole lactation. Oh, Okay. Weird. I just had to get that out of the way. So what's going on, podcast people? Remember, everyone, tune into the podcast. Make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcast or iTunes, if that's the same thing. I think it is. Spotify, everywhere that you get your audio gains. You can go to swolenormousx.com, click on podcast, and subscribe directly. Welcome, everyone, to all the new Swolenormous X members that took advantage of the 25% off for the unlimited memberships this weekend. Round of applause. Ran that from, that was Saturday through last night at midnight. So a bunch of people were hooking in. I went live last night just to talk to some people, remind everyone that it was, the special was ending and a bunch of people hooked in. So that was super cool. So welcome. I hope you enjoy and you get off on the right track real shiggity quick into the programming. And I am also going to be going live in the private Facebook group a little bit later today. So everyone else that is already in there, something to look forward to. Going to give you some updates and let you know really where the weather vane is pointing, kind of the state of the swole. That's what I like to do. That's my accountability meetings, the state of the swole. I let you know where it's at. I plant my flag, plant my knowledge cock, and just like, boom, this is where we're going, kind of like the Civil War, right? When you play a little flute, I mean, marching to the gains, marching to the swole. An abstract thought for a Tuesday. Today we're going to discuss the latest YouTube video that I posted about the fat acceptance movement, body positivity, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a lot of respect for the philosophy behind it. So it's hard for me to even say the names, the titles. It's just really, it's just one more thing adding to the list. So this episode is not for snowflakes. This episode is not for the weak-minded. This isn't for the weak-willed. This is a positive episode. I want to put that out there, that none of my content is derogatory in the sense that I don't hate anyone. I don't dislike anyone. I don't shame anyone. There's no fat shaming. Anyone that gets shamed, anyone that has issues, self-esteem issues, or isn't happy with where they are, anyone that gets offended by the things that I say, it's about what you have going on inside your brain hole. Something's not matching up properly. Something's not connecting. Your fucking your wires are frayed. They're split. All right. You're not putting the pieces together. Most of what we discuss here when it comes to a psychological aspect and a mental approach is that you need to have your head on your shoulders. You need to know what's going on inside your body. You need to know what the dealy yo-yo is with you. You need to have self-awareness. You need to explore what really makes you happy, not based on what anyone else thinks, not based on what I say, not based on what your husband says. I mean, that's where you can get a lot of like friction, of course, but not what your people in your circle say. That's why it's important to have people in your circle that are helping you strive to do better, right? That are helping you strive to improve your life, that are helping you move forward. We talked about that last week when, you minimize your circle and start deleting friends and getting rid of people that are on your Facebook friend list and Instagram that you follow, deleting people, really aggressively deleting people that you are exposed to, because every time you see shit that doesn't help push you forward, it just drags you down. If it's not adding to your life, it's wasting your time. If it's not adding value. And I know sometimes you need some R&R, you need to kick back and watch some Netflix, but some of you consume Netflix like it's a fucking bodily function, and it's really wasting your life. It's wasting your time, and you're being completely unproductive, and you're not doing anything that really benefits you as a human being, mentally or physically. And there's a lot of things that, in addition to that one app, that one fucking app, just Netflix, there's a lot of other things that really distract our attention from things that make us better people. And one of the foundational issues is the idea of being selfish, that doing things for yourself is selfish, that doing things for yourself doesn't help anyone else, that you are just self-centered, you're focused on you, all you care about is yourself. I disagree. I think being selfish is extremely important, and we have been indoctrinated to think that anything we do for ourselves is exactly that, being selfish in a negative, right? We're doing stuff for us. We're not thinking about other people, so we're being bad. That's not true. That's not true at all. You have to get yours. You have to live your life. If you live for everyone else all the time, you never do anything for yourself, you're going to be miserable. Giving, giving is receiving. Yeah, it feels good to give. You can still help other people. You can still be a positive influence in the world, but you got to figure yourself out first. You got to figure yourself out first. You have to have yourself in order so you can help other people out. And if you want to help other people out, it's really important to have yourself figured out, because then you can be more effective in helping others out. It makes a lot of sense. I'm not a big fan of the selfish being negative. I think selfish is a positive because you're looking out for someone. You're looking out for yourself. And there's a very, very powerful concept that you need to treat yourself as if you're caring for another person. If you are treating yourself like you would your dog, like you would a friend, a lot of you are very giving. You're very caring people. You have a lot of compassion, whatever you want to call it. But you're not treating yourself with that same kind of care and compassion. You need to treat yourself kind of like a third person. You need to treat yourself like a friend that you do anything for. You need to treat yourself like someone that you are responsible for, because you are responsible for yourself. We just sit in this first person shooter and we just don't realize that there's stuff here that we have to take care of primarily before we worry about other things. So we get too wrapped up in what other people do. We get too wrapped up in what other people say. We get too wrapped up in what other people are, we get wrapped up in too much in what our neighbors and our surrounding people do. It used to be just neighborhoods. It used to be just who you walked out, hi, Bob. Oh, hi. How are the kids doing? Just fine, Bob. Just fine, Phil. That's the way it used to be. The people around you, the people around your community were the only ones that you interacted with. However, now the people you interact with are anyone around the world that you want to let into your circle, in the sense that you follow them on Instagram and then you see their shit, whether you know them or not, whether they're a celebrity or they're super famous or super wealthy or whoever they are, whether in Bangkok or they're in France or they're in Canada or United States, doesn't matter. If you follow them, it's in your vision, right? And you associate yourself and your worth with what you see around you. And one of the issues with having exposure to all these different elements and all these different people that are doing things, or, with social media, you can put out only the positive things. You can put out, and most people do, most people put out the important things or the best things that happen in their day. Most people don't share the dark side of their days. Most people don't share their failures on Instagram. It's usually all positive, right? It's my vacation or my meal or my workout. Look at this. They don't post when they don't feel good, when they feel like their abs are flat, when they feel soft, when they don't feel pumped, when they feel like they're overwhelmed. People don't post that. I don't always post that stuff. I try to be transparent, but you can't. I mean, what are you going to do? Spend all your day? Because we all have ups and downs throughout the day. You're not going to post nonstop online. You have a life. You have to do other things as well, right? There's other things than just Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat or Twitch or whatever. So because it gets very, very one-sided in the sense that everyone's always posting these positive things, we get very discouraged about our own lives. So we feel like it's unfair. And then we start feeling like we deserve more without taking responsibility for our own shortcomings in terms of getting what we want, because we're not being selfish enough. We're not focusing on us. We're focusing on what other people have. We're focusing on what other people say. We're focusing on what other people do. And that's where you have these social groups like the fat acceptance movement. Now, if you're not aware of it, I'll make it very simple. It's people that don't want you to say naughty words to them. It's people that are almost insistent that you treat them not just with respect. It has nothing to do with respect. It's a quality of outcome, that everyone's the same, that everyone's beautiful, which is very subjective. And we're not talking about sexual beauty. We're talking about being a good person. We're talking about accepting being extremely obese. I'm not talking about 5 or 10 pounds overweight. I'm talking about obesity. Obesity as acceptance, accepting obesity as beautiful and rocking your body and being proud of your body. I have a very, 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 very serious opposition to this, because it's very, very dangerous. And you see a lot of the comments on these different posts, right? Like the fat acceptance. I think it was Tess Holiday or something. She was on Cosmo and she's huge, and pretty much there was no room for freaking headlines on the cover because she took up the entire cover, and she's very obese And the issue with promoting this, and I'm not saying you can't love who you are. It's very different. It's not lacking compassion. I have some people in the comments, oh, come on, get some compassion, man. It's not lacking compassion. Compassion is very fucking dangerous. Compassion is a very dangerous term. It's a very dangerous double-edged sword. Most people don't know their history. Most people don't know how human beings work psychologically. All right. This philosophy that is being perpetuated with these social groups, and specifically today, the fat acceptance movement and the body positivity movement, is this idea of equality of outcome. Like, no matter what you get, everyone should be on the even playing field, right? You're wonderful, you're wonderful, you're wonderful, you're wonderful. Before we even get into that, it's dangerous because you're promoting health issues. We know for a fact that obesity is linked to heart disease, it's linked to diabetes, it's linked to cancers, it's linked to health problems. So where you'll see in the comments, oh, I wish we had these kinds of covers when I was growing up. Oh, I wish we had, fat Barbies when I was growing up. Oh, my whole life, my outlook would have been so different. Why is that a good thing? I hate seeing these comments. I wish I had this growing up. Oh, that would have been so supportive to me as a teenager. Why? To encourage you to not be healthy? To encourage you to not exercise? To encourage you to eat more fucking donuts? The same chemicals that go into making rats fat for science experiments? You want to be pumping yourself full of that garbage? Why is that a good thing? Why is that a good thing? And again, this isn't being rude. I'm just being straightforward. I'm saying the shit that most people won't say because they'll get fired from their job. We're losing freedom of speech. We're losing our ability to say things without getting in trouble, without getting slaps on the wrist, without getting our pay docked, without getting fired, without getting shunned in the media. I have no one to answer to. And I'm going to keep it that way. Like, I am literally saying what most of you already agree with. And the evidence is in my YouTube video where I have like 100 thumbs up and not one single thumbs down. I'm sure it's coming eventually. Usually always, someone just wants to give a thumbs down just because, oh, there isn't one yet. But there's overwhelming positive feedback even from obese people. And I want to hear your comments. I want you to put your comments below. If you're obese, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not here to be, and I say in my YouTube video, you go to my YouTube channel, Swolenormous, and it's right there, the most recent post. I do not hate fat people. I don't go around making fun of people. I always help. I mean, a lot of people in my community are overweight and even obese, and they're losing weight. They're getting healthier. I want to help people. All right. That's why we're doing all this, right? We're changing how we think about ourselves. And you can still be here and still be a part of this. This is not saying you're fat, you're a terrible person. Never said that. Never will say that because it's just simply not true. It's not true at all. Why you're obese? Well, there are very few medical conditions that are of no fault of your own that cause obesity. But that being the case, if you, for example, had some kind of genetic defect that led you and it fucked up, you don't have a thyroid, that's not your fault, okay? And, those are the cards that you were dealt, and that's rough. That's a rough draw. However, most obesity is self-inflicted. It's because you're eating too much, you're eating the wrong foods, and you're not exercising. It's just very, very common sense. And it doesn't mean that you had a wonderful upbringing and your parents taught you all the right things to eat. Very few people do. So I do understand that, but you're a grown person. You can make decisions. If you haven't made moves, if you're not moving towards this path, you're just completely disrespecting your body. And it's one thing to admit it for yourself. And here's another fundamental issue, I think, with this. And I want this conversation to open up. I want to take questions. I want this to be an open discussion because it is an open discussion. It needs to be an open discussion. It can't just be one guy with glasses and a fucking beard, ranting about this subtle. It's a big shift. It's a big shift. It's like the tide is turning. The rip tide is going to suck everyone in. This is just part of it. The free speech and the philosophy behind these social movements are very, very dangerous. They're very dangerous because they eliminate competition. They eliminate everyone trying to do better for themselves. They eliminate taking responsibility. And that's fundamentally dangerous for human beings. It's one thing to be unhealthy for you. When you start promoting body acceptance, or body positivity, like I have nothing wrong. I don't even have anything wrong with accepting and and enjoying your body. I think you should accept your body. I think you should be very, very grateful that you have a body, whether it's obese or whether it's skinny. You should be grateful that you exist. And it's one thing to treat yourself with disrespect and eat unhealthy and be obese. It's another thing to translate this into some kind of a movement and promote disease. These Instagram accounts, I don't think there are enough voices going against this because people don't want to say the truth. You can be extremely obese and be part of this fat acceptance movement. You can post all these things, overweight, right, on magazine covers. You can say, girl, you can eat that, enjoy your tacos. And everyone's like, yeah, I had a whole roll of Oreos, I'm taking control of my life. It's okay. I'm going to, feed my cravings and all this stuff. You should see these Instagram pages. It's sickening. It's sickening. And they can say that, but then someone comes out and like myself, and we'll talk against it. There aren't enough people like myself that will speak like this against the obesity. There are a few. There are a few. There are a few out there that are making, but I don't think it's enough because so many people are tied to an organization or they have people to answer to. They're not able to say the things that they should be saying. And that's a problem with free speech. If you can't speak the truth, then what can we speak about? How can we move forward as a society if we're not able to say the words that need to be said? And that's very, very fucking dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. It's dangerous it's dangerous to be afraid what you say. I know there are racist things you can say. I know there are things that can hurt people's feelings. But whose fault is that? Is it the word's fault? Is it the person that's saying the words? Or is it the person that's receiving the words, that's internalizing that and then feeling hurt and victimized and then ranting about it and then looking for protection for people saying naughty words? I mean, it's fucking language. We have to be able to express ourselves. And if you're fat, you're fat. You have to own it, grow up, and stop eating like a fat person, become less fat unless you want to die. And then no one can stop you because it is a free country. You can eat your way to an early grave if you want to. What am I going to say to stop you? If you get offended, fine. I guess my message is not for you. If you listen to what I'm saying, you're like, you know what? This fucking guy is right. I'm going to change my life. This message is for you. I don't hate you. I want to inspire you. I want you to make a difference. I don't want you to turn this into being a victim. You're not a victim. You are a result. You're not a victim. You are a result. You're an effect. You are an example of what happens when you don't exercise, you eat too much, you eat the wrong foods for decades. That's what you are. You're a walking result. I'm a walking result of someone who lifts weights and eats, and lives my lifestyle in my individual, with all my individual variations and my, all my individual, variables. Okay. We're all individuals. So I'm a product of all my variables. You are a product of your variables. Obviously, your variables mean eating a lot more, eating the wrong foods, not exercising. It's a huge part of my life, exercising and eating healthy. That's literally what I do. I'm training all the time. Okay. And that's why I have this result. That's why I have this effect. Yeah, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. And I love seeing the positive feedback from people that are obese. This is for you. This is for you. This is for you. This is for all of you that are fucking fat. If you're fat, admit it. If you're getting offended because I'm calling you fat, that's about you. It's not about me. I'm just speaking the truth. Oh, the sky looks blue. Okay. And you look fat. Why is that a bad thing? Two facts. The sky looks blue and you look fat. Am I wrong? Okay, some people are fatter than others. What your definition subjectively, okay, we can define obesity. It's between this or BMI. Okay, I'm talking about when you look at someone, you can easily say they're fat. My definition of fat is going to be a little bit broader than some of yours. You seeing someone with a little bit of a stomach, you might not call them fat. It depends on, your opinion in those gray areas, but we all know what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the glorification of obesity. I'm talking about the glorification of being overweight, severely obese. The glorification, acceptance is glorification. Acceptance is giving it the okay. You're giving people the excuse to be fat. You're giving people the excuse to be unhealthy. You're giving people a community around, oh, it's okay, don't worry. You have a craving for a reason. You should eat that. Live your life. Enjoy your body. You only live once, and embrace yourself. Love who you are. Yeah, by all means, don't fucking try to do better. By all means, don't take fucking responsibility. By all means, don't try to get healthy and promote health and wellness to other people in your circle. Just fucking eat Oreos and put your arms around each other and cry about your situation that, oh, you're such a fucking victim. You're not. You're not a victim. You're hungry. You're not even fucking hungry. You're well beyond hungry. You're overfed. That's what you are. We worry about cows. All right, and here we go. I'm going to start comparing fat people, obese people to cows. Ready for this one? We worry about the farming industry, right? With the meat industry, that these cows are fed grains and hormones and shit to grow them faster. What do you think the industry does to you? We're feeding the cows corn, and you're eating corn. You're eating corn syrup. You're eating corn starch. You're eating soy lecithin and all these different fillers and artificial just fucking crap in your food. You're being plumped up like these cows led for slaughter. Only you're not getting slaughtered. You are going on diabetic medication, heart medication, high blood pressure, and cholesterol medication. You're going on medications, which is driving up fucking health costs for people like me that are healthy. You're driving up health costs for everyone. You're straining taxes, the healthcare system. We don't put you down. We're not leading you to slaughter because we don't eat fat people. We eat fat cows, right? We don't eat fat people. We sustain you. And then they make money off you. You eat the garbage food that the government subsidizes, and then you get fat. And then you go on the medication because they got you fat, and then you're on that for the rest of your life. And it's fucking up everyone. You're not helping anything. This fat acceptance is bullshit. It's an excuse to not try anymore. It's an excuse to not put in effort. It's an excuse to not have discipline. It's an excuse to not make the fucking moves. It's an excuse to be lazy. Why put it? Hey, why try? Why try? Why put in effort? Why put in effort to be healthy? Why not? You know what? Let me just start a movement. Let me just join this community that accepts me as I am. And then I'll get militant against anyone else. And anyone that says that I'm fat, I'm going to call them a body shamer. You're a body shamer. This is about body positivity. Body positivity, that's fucking scary. Saying body positivity and fat acceptance is almost, it's like, I feel like the Third Reich is coming back. I feel like, because everything against it now, right? And here's the issue with compassion. Here's the issue with compassion. And this is a very, 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 very popular example. Think about this. You might hear what I'm saying and be like, man, that's a fucking mean dude. He's really mean. Be more compassionate. Have some feelings. Have some more love in your heart, man. Right? Have more compassion. I want to use an example. I'm going to use the example of the mother bear. Okay? Mother bear. I don't think anyone would ignore or deny that a mother bear is very compassionate to her cubs, right? It's very cute. You watch on the History Channel, National Geographic, you watch Animal Planet, and you'll see a mother bear caring for her cubs. The cubs are rolling around and she's guiding them, teaching them. Mother bear and her cubs, very cute, very compassionate, very loving. If you get between a mother bear and her cubs, she will rip your fucking throat out. So that compassion is very, very dangerous. That compassion and all that care and all that kindness and acceptance is extremely dangerous. So while if you agree with them, then you're in that mother bear circle, like, oh, we love you. Yeah, eat your Oreos, eat your fat acceptance. You're beautiful. Obese is beautiful. Big is beautiful. More to love. And if you're against it, you're the fucking devil. You're fat shaming. You're whatever, racist, you're fattest, I don't know, you're fat, you're a fat shamer. Now I'm the enemy. And it's very easy, right? It's very easy for me to be the enemy. Everyone's the enemy. And what's happening in our legal system and what's happening in our society is I'm automatically the bad person because I call someone fat. I'm a fat shamer. I'm a body shamer. And now I'm looked at as a bad person and I'm mean and they're righteous when they're doing the same exact thing. So this idea of acceptance is a cloak for aggression. It's a cloak for aggression. It's a cloak for anger. And it's a cloak for violence. We're seeing it with all these social groups. It's the same thing all across. The philosophy is what has driven other civilizations into the fucking ground. Read your history. Go back. Read this shit. It happens. It happens cyclical throughout history because human beings have short memories. That's why history is important. You want to know how to treat people? You want to know how to build a society? Go back and look at the shit that brought them down, and don't do that. And we're seeing the same trends fucking sink their teeth into our culture, and we're letting it happen. Right? It's very easy. It's very easy to pass it off as compassion. It's very easy to pass it off as kindness. Oh, I'm kind, I'm trying to be nice to people. It's not my responsibility to be nice to people. It's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to be nice to you. To be respectful, still not my responsibility. I can choose to be respectful, or I could choose to not be respectful. I choose to be respectful. Okay? However, it's not my responsibility whether or not your feelings get hurt, especially if I'm telling the truth. If I'm making something up and I'm just making up a story and it's not true and I'm fucking yelling at you and I'm just making up things, then that's bad because I'm making up stories. I'm not being truthful. I'm not being authentic. But if I'm saying the truth and we're literally looking at this from an objective point of view, we're talking about obesity being literally how people fucking die. Right? Remember the stats? 1 in 3 people, that's almost 100 million people or more, have type 2 diabetes or are pre-diabetic. And pre-diabetic means that they're going to have diabetes within 5 years. Those are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetimes, and it's going to bring our economy to its knees. Like, we have a massive problem that no one knows how to handle it. Like, there's major, major issues, and we can't change them on a big policy level because it's going to take too long and too much money is at stake. So we have to do it like this. I have to rant on the podcast, and everyone needs to build this out in their communities, and we have to change it. Like, we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We can't wait. You're not gonna wait for the fucking government or for your doctor to say, oh, saturated fat's not bad for you. Oh, you mean LDL cholesterol is a little bit high? Oh, maybe that's not a bad thing like we once thought. Oh, maybe it's total cholesterol, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's very, very small, dense cholesterol that's really the bad part, or maybe it's, the inflammation in our food that's leading to, these endotoxins that are binding to the cholesterol. Like, there's many other things. It's not just that simple, like, oh, you eat this is bad for you, eat this is good for you. No, it's not. It's a combination. It's the inflammation in our systems. And the inflammation comes from toxic environments. It comes from food. It comes from stress. It comes from all these different things. When you're stressed, LDL cholesterol is going to be elevated. And most people are stressed all the fucking time. So not to get off topic that way, but we have to look at the real issues here. The real issues are people are overweight and they're obese and they're dying, and it's fucking up our world. And the last thing we need are for people to pass the buck and join some bullshit fat acceptance movement and demonize people that are being healthy. What are you, like, hating me for being in shape? You're hating me for doing everything that I can every day, going to the gym, working out, exercising, making better food choices. Why am I the enemy? Because I call you fat because you're fat and you don't do it. You don't want to. Why? Because it's not easy. It's hard to change a habit. I get it. I fucking get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You want to hide behind some flag, right? You're waving that fat flag, fat acceptance flag. You want to hide behind your, people that want to be a victim with you, people that don't want to put in the effort, people that don't want to take responsibility. Maybe they were coddled too much by mommy and daddy. They never really grew up and they want to blame everyone else. It's easier to blame someone else for your problems. Too many people are blaming others for their problems. Take responsibility. That's the answer. Take responsibility. If you're fat, your fault. Now what? Now what? What happens when it's your responsibility? What happens? What happens? What's that switch, right? What happens when it's your responsibility? Suddenly you can't blame anyone. All of a sudden, it's on you. The decisions that you make, right? The choice that you make from this point forward, all of a sudden, it's on you. Now what? Now what are you going to do about it? What's next? What's next? Now what? answer's not so clear. I mean, it's clear, but it's not as clear. All of a sudden you take responsibility and it's like, oh my God, you mean I did this? You mean I did this? You mean it's my choice? You mean it's things that I need to do? You mean I need to change it myself? You mean I need to change my habits? I need to read a book? You mean I need to go online? You mean I need to start exercising? You mean I need to stop eating garbage food? Yeah, you. It's no one else's fault. You can't join a group. You can't join a movement where you're going to stand on a picket line. It would be good if people in the fat acceptance movement started marching. I think it'd be a great thing. I think they should picket. I think they should have parades because they'd actually be fucking walking. Good. Let them parade. Let them parade for 7 days straight. They'll walk off all their calories. You could laugh at that. That's funny. You could laugh at that. No, but in all honesty, if you're overweight, it's your responsibility. Let's be honest. This isn't to be mean. This is to wake you up. There needs to be more content like this that wakes you up. I'm not trying to coddle you. I'm not trying to put my arm around you. I'm trying to wake you up because you're going to get lulled to sleep by the news. You're going to get lulled to sleep by the government, by the news, by your doctor, by everything, by the mainstream. You're going to get lulled to sleep. You're just going to be like, okay. All right. I'll eat that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do this. You're going to follow stupid fucking guidelines that's going to keep you fat. Don't follow government guidelines for shit. You want to know why? Because everyone's fucking fat. When you have an obesity epidemic, you might want to double check and think twice and, revisit those guidelines on how many minerals do I need, or how many vitamins do I need, or how much cardio do I need per week? Oh, 3 times per week for 30 minutes. I should go for a brisk walk. People are dying. We're fatter than ever. I don't think it's working. Time to mix things up. Time to take it more seriously. And we're going to say, well, I don't want to be obsessed. I have other things to do. I have responsibilities, this and the other. Then fucking crawl under a rock and die. Then get obesity and leave your kids to be orphaned. Like, what do you... right? Then just get fat and die. What do you want me to say? It's your life. It's your responsibility. If you don't want to do it, fine. If you hear this information, you hear this content, you listen to this podcast, and then you don't want to do it afterwards, I can't force you. Okay, so best of luck with your chronic disease. A lot of this is, it's preventable. When we have something that's preventable, that can be stopped, that's what gets really frustrating. It doesn't have to be that way. It's your choice. If you're overweight and extremely obese, it's your choice. You are a walking effect. You're a walking result from your actions, from your choices that you have made. Okay? It's very easy to blame anything, anyone, any time frame. It's very, very easy to sit back and just blame, but it's not the truth. The truth is your life is your responsibility. Your choices are yours and yours alone. And it's time that you stepped up and made better ones. Thanks for this, Dash. You speak the truth. Everyone needs to hear this. You're welcome. Love the rage today, Alicia. I'm glad. Mind of Phil on Instagram. I'm 326 pounds. I'm fat and I'm making the change today. Make the change. Eat health, not death. No more sugar. Fasting is power. Live in the moment. Be life. Holy shit, Phil. That was intense. And for those that aren't on Instagram, that was all in caps with like 10 exclamation points at the end of each phrase. Well, I'm glad, man. There was some serious passion. You see what I mean? That's the kind of thing. Hey, like if Phil, for example, if that person joined the fat acceptance movement, you see what the rage will do? That kind of like capital letters and exclamation points. You flip that around and make it like some, and if that dude was a victim, can you imagine? That's where the rage comes from. It gets masked in compassion, and then it's just fucking anger and violence. And that's why those kinds of extreme groups become violent. And that's why we can't let that shit grow. We have to stomp it out while it's still festering. Mind of Phil again. Oh, we got another message from Phil. You are amazing, swole bro. No one ever got gains from eating Oreos. Ha ha ha. Going to do some yoga, bro. Keep teaching the masses, man. No pain, no gain. Thank you. Thumbs up, brain. What is that? Got some weird emojis. Cool, man. I'm glad you're getting fired up, dude. Good for you. Good for you. Obesity, Mary on Facebook. Obesity is hard to fix. That's why many people can't fix it. They choose the easy way and never want to get out of their comfort zone. Well, taking responsibility for it is definitely out of most people's comfort zone, and it's not going to be easy, and it shouldn't be easy. It's not supposed to be easy, but you didn't gain weight overnight. It's not going to come off overnight. It's going to take a lot of change. It's going to take discipline, and it's going to come off slow. It's going to be hard to take it off. It's going to be a challenge. Welcome to the world. Things are hard. Things are not easy all the time. Aaron, exercise and health are not an option in our house. My son gets to choose to work out with me or my wife, but he must exercise. Just like walking the dog's not an option. Yeah, make the decision. Make it a rule. Make it something that gets ingrained. How do you feel about fasting? I don't have anything against it. Depends on the application of it. So I appreciate all the positivity. I mean, that YouTube video really does say it all. It brings it all back. It brings it all into one concise video. So I highly recommend checking it out. I actually put a link in my Instagram story. You can swipe up. So if you follow me on Instagram, you go to my IG story, you could swipe up and go right to the video, or just check it out on my YouTube channel, Swolenormous. So you can go check that out, share that one as well. But definitely pass this around and start having this conversation with people that are in your circle. I mean, don't put up with this bullshit. You're going to hear, you got to protect yourself. And that's the issue, is that some of you said in the comments earlier that walking a fine line, now when you're at work, you're walking a fine line. You have to be careful, how you interact with other women. Like if you look at them too long, is that sexual harassment? Like everyone's on fucking eggshells. Everyone's on eggshells with everything. Everyone's on eggshells with every single aspect, but all these little fringe groups, right? These social justice groups, all this is based on a philosophy that's cloaked as compassion. It's cloaked as equality. It's cloaked. It's covered. It's hidden. It's veiled in this idea of kindness, compassion, equality. That's not the truth. It's just fundamentally not the truth. And like I said, go read your history. Go look up how these totalitarian regimes and how these how these countries literally fall under these ideals. The same philosophy. It's built on the same concepts, and it's dangerous. And you're seeing it with every little subsect, right? You're seeing it with sexuality. You're seeing it in the workplace. You're seeing it in health with this crap. And it's one thing to have a belief. It's one thing to strive for yourself and to be better. But this kind of stuff is poison. This kind of mentality is poison. It's just not true. It shouldn't be something that's glorified. It shouldn't be something that's taken as a positive. It shouldn't be something that's spread. And now what? So now we're going to be getting fat Barbies and fat people on the covers of these fucking magazines. And we're just going to spread this as, oh, we're accepting of everyone. Fine. There are always going to be people that are overweight. There are always going to be people that are bone skinny. It doesn't mean we promote obesity, which we know is linked to fucking issues. You don't get fat by eating healthy food. You get fat by eating garbage and not exercising. You get fat by eating garbage and too much of it and exercising. We're encouraging this trash, and it helps the food companies, right? It helps the government, it helps the medical industry. It doesn't help anyone else. It's a fucking poison. And we need to suck it out before it starts eating us alive. And I'm going to be very vocal on this. And it's very important that we have voices that speak this kind of reality, because there aren't enough of them. And these fat acceptance voices are huge, pun intended. They're massive. And they're getting a lot of attention. And anyone that says anything against it is a body shamer. You're a mean person. You're rude. You're a body shamer. You hate fat people. Not the case. I love health. I think people should be healthy and respectful of their fucking bodies. I don't think you should be flushing it down the drain and being a terrible, abysmal role model for people growing up overweight. It's a huge fucking problem. And as if we don't have an obesity epidemic already, we need the fat acceptance shit to start fucking gaining steam. It's extremely dangerous. Very, very violently dangerous. It's so dangerous. No one sees it like that now. But like I said, read your history. It's bad. And it starts out with crap like this. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Go check out that YouTube video if you haven't already. I will see everyone tomorrow for episode 852 of the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and Anti-Fat Acceptance Movement cast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. Drop some comments below. Appreciate your input. I appreciate your support. And this is a positive message. It really is. It really is. Take control of your health. It's your responsibility. I'll see everyone tomorrow. Peace, McGee's fam. Deuce, Magoose, Papa Swole. Out.